with your mother Dre, the hottest sports podcast in all of Southwest Florida. I'm your host, Coach Pye. Tonight, just a brief video for you. And we're going to, again, continue to talk about what is going on over at Lely High School. Too many people keep telling me, Dre, would you just put the information where the goats can get it? Okay, so I'm going to do it because I've just heard from too many credible resources over there, and I thought about it, but it just keeps bothering me to my core that what I'm about to tell you occurred. Okay, now, you know, the district, they have a random drug testing policy. Okay, they test student athletes, they test students because they're concerned about the health and well-being of not just the student athletes, but the entire population. They have to see what's going on in that building. You know, drugs is very, very rampant, cause behavioral issues, it cause health issues, you know, for certain kids. So, you know, if you have students in CCPS that participate in sports and athletics, you know, on occasion, they will get randomly drug tested. Okay. That's policy. That's not hard to find. Kids know they sign waivers or they sign off on these tests. Parents, we sign off on that type of stuff. So, you know, we know these things are being administered. But did you realize? I didn't realize that somebody actually would have the gall. Somebody would actually be selfish. Somebody would actually want to do more harm to a child because they are selfish. And they would actually ask a few student athletes if they would like to skip out on an upcoming drug test, which is random, okay? A random drug test. Somebody in the position of knowing who is getting drug tested and when that drug test is going to be administered went to a couple of student athletes and tried to work with them on skipping out on the test. Man, come on, man. Where they do that at? Okay, where they do that at? This ain't no movie, okay? This ain't no skit. You're dealing with young people and you're dealing with their decision making. You are putting in their minds that it's okay to cheat, it's okay to lie, it's okay to be deceitful. And God forbid if these young people were using illegal substances because maybe they're self-medicating because they're depressed, maybe they're self-medicating for whatever other issues, or maybe they have a serious addiction. You know, it can't get flagged, you know, because you're helping them avoid testing. Okay, so you're ultimately really putting these young people at more and more harm, and you are being very so. I mean, what would a person get out of it by trying to help young people avoid a random drug test? What kind of people think it's okay to do that? And these are professionals. Come on, we have to do better. We need to demand more of people that are in direct roles of influencing our children. That's why I'm disappointed. Okay. You go through all these different courses, you go through all these different evaluations, all these different background checks to weed out people that will do harm to your child, to my children. Okay. And yet they still exist out there. And that's what I'm disappointed about. That's what this is about. People doing harm to children. Some people might be like, hey, Coach Pound, man, ain't that big of a deal. But hey, man, I'm just that type of person that, you know, what you teach a child now is what you're teaching them to do and be in the future. And God knows what else is being done. If somebody or somebody's or this bold to circumvent policy of the district that they are employed by, that they get their paychecks from, if they have total disregard to their own professional standing, hey, I think somebody needs to be talked to in a certain situation. And I got information that the people, the students were even asked to sign witness statements. Okay. In the district, you don't sign witness statements unless there's some sort of investigation. I don't know. Maybe people heard of an investigation. I didn't read anything in the local paper about an investigation being done or conducted over at the school that we're talking about. So, hey, it's got to be public record somewhere, but maybe that information to come out. But all I can tell you is what I'm being told, the allegations leading to what I'm calling a scandal, which is now a full out corrupt act. If these things had occurred, and I am strongly leaning in that way because of the multiple people that have come to me with this information close to the situation. So it's just greatly disappointing. Okay. I must rather talk about sports. I must rather talk about scores. I must rather talk about all the great things that sports has for us and our young people in particular. But this is the one side of sports that we got to clean up, man. We got to conduct our business. We have to be professional. We have to teach these young people. And we have to set the bar high. And we have to live up to that. So I hope that all the parties involved in this, the institution involved in this, cleans this up, man, and becomes much more transparent and have zero tolerance for any sort of behavior like this. Okay, because this is the other thing. When you're not transparent and you don't disclose these things, then all the wild whisper campaigns, all the finger pointing, yeah, well, so-and-so must have been involved. So-and-so must have been involved, instead of being transparent and clearing people's names because, hey, man, when things are disrupted and people are asked to leave, people are going to speculate, okay? And it's not fair to people that have no role in what I just shared with you, don't have the ability or nobody's clearing their names, okay? And when nothing is being said, everybody is covered up there, okay? So from the outside looking in, we're looking at, well, who are the guilty parties? Okay. We're not looking at, well, who's innocent because nobody's telling us that. And that's unfair, on its face. It's unfair. It's just unfair to everybody, man. And that's the institution, man, that, it just doesn't need any sort of scandals or dirt being thrown on them, man. Like I said, man, I love the children that I've got to know over there, the young men over there that I've gotten to know, man, and I've root for them. So that's why this bothers me. And that's why so many people have been telling me and feeding me information. And let me tell you, we're just getting started with some of the stuff that I've been told. But I really don't want to talk about that. But I had to put this out here because so many people said, look, we want you to put this information out there, man, because we think it's going to be a disinfectant. Okay, we want our program to be looked at as a proud institution. So the only way we can do that is to get some information out there and start sanitizing this place. So that's why I'm spending a few minutes with you right here to share this information with you. I hope this is the worst thing that will ever happen. I'm sad to report that it did occur, but hopefully is going nowhere but up from this point on, and that institution can get back to doing what it does best, and that's create beautiful young people, beautiful leaders, and continue to have great sports moments over there. Okay, so I'm your boy, Coach Powell. Continue to send people to the podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe below, and just understand I appreciate you riding along with me. Until the next time, I'm a hop.